In yoga, the word naga and the word kala are used synonymously. Both mean the same thing in a way. Why would snake and time mean the same thing? Time, as we know it, in terms of seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, years and decades and centuries and millennia, the time that we know in our experience is essentially an outcrop of an infinite space whose nature is timelessness. Probably these names are just heard, probably nobody really bothers to ask why they are named like this. You have heard of certain snake being called Ananta. Ananta means eternal. So there is one snake which represents eternity. This is why the Kala Sarpa is in the form of infinite symbol or infinity symbol, that is representing eternal, it is a Kala Sarpa. There is another snake which is called a Sheshanaga. You heard of that? When the creation collapses, when galaxies collapse, there will be some residue left. That is the Shesha. If you have learned mathematics in a local language in India, you would know Shesha means the residue in the mathematics. What is left over? What is the remainder? In English it's called the remainder, that is the Shesha. So this is the Sheshanaga, one who is left over from previous creations. So one who is left over is very vital for the next creation to happen, to have some kind of information which can go into the next making of the creation. So, when we say creation, we mean everything. We don't mean a universe or a galaxy or a planetary system, we mean everything. Everything that is created at some point collapses. In that there is a Shesha or something that is a reminder which becomes the basis for the next creation. This is the 84th creation according to the yogic sciences. When we say this is the 84th creation, we have not arrived at it by going and looking into the galaxies and cosmic spaces as to what is happening there. By looking into this one, we see there is a record of 84 creations. That is the Shesha in us, the reminder in us that there have been 84 creations. How many more can happen? Well, up to 112 can happen. The 112 beyond that, the creation will not be of physical nature, will be of pure energy form. This is what it means by saying only 112 chakras are physically manifest, rest or above the body or beyond the body means they are beyond physical nature. So the future creations, we are not talking in terms of years or centuries or millennia or even millions of years, it is many billions of years probably. So, having said that, these are two important aspects of Naga. One is Kala, in the Kala there is one which is Ananta, another which is Shesha. The third one is Karkotaka, which is what these three aspects that we are handling here. There has not been a single civilization where there is no usage of snake as access to deeper dimensions of life. In nearly over 800 years, a proper consecration of Naga has not happened. This guy is special that way. This is about divinity rising within a human being who is willing. So, there are two kinds of Kala Sarpa Yoga. One kind is to enhance one's lifespan, another wants to curtail their lifespan. The Naga is sitting here, he's a Kshetrapala. Kala and Naga are the same things, they are beyond physical nature. My exploration, my ability to see things have been largely aided by the Naga.
Nagendra Haraya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya
See, especially if he is nasty creature, especially if it is so, this is your perception. But especially if somebody is a nasty creature in your home or in your office or wherever you are, you seeing something in a certain way is not about them, it's about you. Do you want to keep your eyes, your mind, your heart, your body pleasant or unpleasant? You make up your mind on that one. Now, if you look at him, I said even that nasty creature, please look at him, it's like me. I am not telling you that you have to listen to his teaching or take new practices from him. No, I'm saying, if you have looked at me with a certain sense of reverence, devotion, love, affection, whatever is your emotion, if you have, please see everything with that, because all I'm saying is, you have a body, you have a mind, you have emotion, energy. We're talking about your emotion right now. If you hit a certain level of sweetness of emotion at one point in your life, either because of your love or devotion or compassion or whatever, you hit a certain level of sweetness, this is the high point in your life. Now you should not come back from that, you must see how to go beyond that. I am saying whatever was the highest or the sweetest or the most wonderful emotion you had, make that the baseline, why are you coming back again? If you did not know such an emotion, then what would I tell you? Which is the sweetest emotion you had in your life? My child, okay, see everybody as your child. We've told you that at one time. Then I saw you sat here with tears of blissfulness and love coming out of you. Then I said, see everybody as you're looking at me right now, because this will make your eyes, your mind, your heart, your body and your very being sweet and wonderful. This is not about him. Especially if he is being difficult, then you are being well trained. Even if you go to hell, you will do well. Yes. Because nobody has guaranteed you. Have I ever told you I will get you a ticket to heaven? I've been constantly threatening you, right here things will happen. So, you must understand this is about your transformation. The problem with you is, because you read… what are those? Well, I don't want to take names anyway. You read all those romantic books when you were a teenager and then you imagined all kinds of things. You are not first of all straight with yourself. Your hormones are working up. Suddenly you look at somebody, wow, can't believe she's so beautiful, she's so fantastic, he's so handsome, he's so wonderful, everything he does, ah! You're bullshitting yourself. No, no. Whatever they do, you make yourself beautiful. Now even if they're doing nasty things, you're still wonderful. This is different. You know they're doing nasty things and you're still wonderful. This is fantastic. They are doing nasty things, but you think they're doing beautiful things. This is a stupid nonsense. I'll tell you. Somebody who was serving in Indian army had told me this story because we went through a similar situation somewhere else. So at that time he was narrating this. They were posted in the northeastern region where there's a certain amount of elephant population. So he is a battalion leader, he is heading about a group of 18 to 20 people, I think, they're marching in the forests. And they see a huge tusker, everybody backs off. All of them have weapons, okay, powerful weapons. This is an anti-insurgency group, that means they're fully armed and equipped. They can shoot down a tusker from 100 meters, 200 meters, whatever they want. But they all back off because that's not the reason why they are there. But he was telling me this because some situation happened like this with one South Indian person. So suddenly there was one Tamil man in the thing who was a sergeant, Havaldar. He put his weapons down and he said, "Ganapati has come, Ganesha, Ganesha." And he started chanting a mantra. He knew some Ganapati mantra, he started chanting. He ran in front and he went close to the elephant, just 50 feet away, and went down on his knees and started loudly saying the chant. The elephant looked at him, who is this bloody fool, you know? Calling him all kinds of names that he doesn't like. And these people were watching, this is some kind of a miracle happening, the elephant is just standing there and this guy is on his knees chanting. The elephant moved so quickly, within less than 2 seconds or within probably 5 seconds, he was upon him, he just crushed him, turned back and went. These people were just aghast and they're just watching him being crushed. Then some people pulled out the weapons. When the person whom I knew was in charge of it, he calmed them down because it's already dead. The man is dead in one shot. Why I'm saying this to you is, elephant will not do… wild elephant is not going to do pleasant things to you because you call him a god. You call him Ganapati and try to worship him, he is not going to do, he will do what he has to do. Similarly, the creature in your house, he will do what he has to do, whatever is his characteristic. It is just about you I'm talking. You're always thinking of life as a relationship. No, I want you to understand, before you were born or even when you were being born, you did not have a relationship even with your mother. This is going to be very unpopular, people are going to pick on me, but please look at it. You don't have a relationship. You just have an existence. Relationship happened because of your needs. You saw her as your food, you went for her. You saw her as the basis of your survival. You recognize that quickly, you know. The moment a child is born, hand her over to another man or another woman and let them take care of all the child's needs. Child will immediately go to them. This whole idea that you think it's coming to you because you are the mother and you delivered, no. It is because of the needs you form relationships. Otherwise, there is just existence. This existence can either become conscious and live in a phenomenal presence, become available to it, or just do or go on doing the circus. Initially, your mother was everything, she was the most fantastic creature, and then you grew up, you became an adolescent, you saw a boy, he was the most fantastic man. in the world, then your mother came in between, suddenly you started hating her. Hello? Then the man came, he was most beautiful, then he became a nasty creature, or so you thought. Now you think he is the worst human being. This goes on. I want you to understand, you're making up both beauty and nasty. I am not asking you to make up. I am not asking you to think whatever this person is doing is fantastic. That's a stupid way to exist. It's just that if you see everything, whatever is the peak experience you've had, make that the baseline. This is growth. You played the snake and the ladder game? Swing, swing, you played that game? Snake and the ladder game. So when you play this game, your intent is, once you climb a ladder, you don't want to come back. You don't want to hit a snake, you want to find another ladder, go up, that's a natural expression of life. So once you know a certain level of sweetness within you, don't bring it down. That should be the basis. The next thing should be better and better. So when I said, right now you are sitting here with tears of ecstasy and love like this with me, then I said, let this be the basis. Don't go down from this. See everything as this. At least let this much happen. If this is continuously happening, constantly happening, then of course you will hit another ladder. Just a little bit of time. Don't come down, that's all I said. And please don't describe him as a nasty creature. Poor man. This happened. I think I told you, maybe one of these days only I told you, I don't remember, but let me repeat this. Shankaran Pillai thought his wife is having an affair, hired a detective. I'm saying it loudly because just to remind you that I want proof against her. So detective just waited outside the house, she left the house, he followed her, then she went to parked near a park, went inside. A man was sitting on the bench, the moment he saw her, he came running, she went running, they hugged. Each other held hands and sat down on the bench and chatting away joyfully, laughing. He took the whole video and within a few hours he came to Shankaran Pillai in his office and said, I got all the proof that you wanted just in one day. I did my job, I have the proof, here, watch the video. Shankaran Pillai started watching the video and said, no, I can't believe this, no, this can't be, I can't believe this, no, I can't believe this. I said, what you can't believe? It's a video, it's not doctored, it's just a video that I took just now. He said, that's not the point, fool, I can't believe she's so much fun. So, after 15 days is over, when the man goes away somewhere, then you will see how much fun he was. Don't do this to yourself
My question is about this gruesome, horrible act that happened yesterday at Kashmir, and we saw 40+ Jawans killed. So, I don't know what's the psyche of these people who can get into a car with 300 kgs of ammunition and, just blast.
See, as I said earlier, we're still not in that level of human consciousness where all boundaries and borders can be just wiped out and human beings just embrace each other and live. There's no such love affair going on, okay Still, national identities, religious identities, various other kinds of ideological identities set us against each other. It is as simple as it is, but when it comes as to how it manifests on the ground, it's too complex. It's not something you can solve like that. So, in the making of a nation, one important thing is the sovereignty of the nation. Because nation exists only because of its borders. This may be an unpopular thing to say in United States right now, but you call something a nation, only the first and foremost is the geographical border, isn't it? Well, people can go this way, that way, people can change their language, people can change their religion, people can change their beliefs and ideologies, but it's the geography which is the first dimension of making of a nation. So this sovereignty should not have been dragged for so long after independence. It's a serious mistake. It should have been settled immediately. But unfortunately, they did not settle it for… I don't want to make a political postmortem now, but it's a serious mistake not to settle the sovereignty of the nation, not to fix the boundaries and say, this is it. Still, it is a line of control. It's not the national borders, it is still a line of control which is always out of control. And there are various things, I don't want to give a political commentary now. So you're asking about the mindset. The mindset is like this. This has been in many ways put across. They are fighting for what they believe in. You are trying to fight for what you believe in. And this will go on endlessly, you understand? Either you must change your belief system or they must change their belief. And that doesn't look like in your future, all right? That doesn't look like that. But either you must have the wisdom to end the enmity. You must kill the enmity. You must have that wisdom. If there is no room for that wisdom, unfortunately, it will naturally translate into killing the enemy. It will naturally go there. Whether you am I propounding this? No, it will naturally get there, whether you like it or you don't like it. So just because somebody lives across the border, do you want to kill them? Definitely not. But at the same time, do you want to protect what you see as this nation? This is an unfortunate dilemma of being human. If you were an animal, anybody crosses your boundary, enters your territory, you just kill him, all right? Hello? But this is the dilemma of being human. Somebody crosses your boundary, you may have to kill him, but you don't really want to kill him. This is the struggle of being human. This struggle must be there in a human being always. If this struggle goes away, you will become an animal. This struggle must exist within us, but still, acting decisively for the larger well-being of a nation has to happen. Why I'm talking about a nation is, for me, nation is not a political entity, nation is not my nationalism, I don't belong to that. For me, nation is the largest amount of population you can address right now. If you want to bring well-being, you cannot address the globe. Hello? You cannot address the whole globe just like that. It is not within your means to address the globe. The best thing you can address right now, the largest human entity you can address right now is nation. If you go down, maybe there are states, maybe there are religions, maybe there are castes and creeds and all kinds. Don't go there. Address the nation because it's the largest segment of humanity you can address right now. In that context, sovereignty of the nation becomes of prime importance. Well, what has to be done, but we must have pain in our heart. Even when we cause damage to somebody who is a threat to us, we must have some pain in our heart, otherwise we will lose our humanity. On 1st of September, we have lakhs of people around the country in all the major cities and towns. They will come out, just hold this little blue patch called Rally for Rivers and stand somewhere in the city where people can see you. Not in large groups, because that will amount to a protest. Each individual should just stand. As a citizen, you must stand, not with 10 people, just you. So minimum of 50 feet space should be there between one person and the other person, but across the city, we want this display because we want everybody to participate on that day. All the other people who are using the streets, they must all see this because on that day on the media we are doing a major campaign, everybody would have seen it on the media and now it's on the street. That should be sufficient propelling force for them to make that call and also in some way within themselves they commit. If they want more active roles, they can come on there is a Rally for River app and the website, they can register and see in what way they can participate in each town. And in Bangalore, we are here on 9th of September in the palace grounds and people can come and participate in that event in large numbers.
My question is, we students sitting over here are among the top percentile in the country in terms of education that we are receiving. Yet all of us are wondering about what jobs we will get, we just want the best campus placements over here. If that's the scenario with all of us and we are not willing to take risks and have become risk averse, from where will the jobs come for the country when we are not thinking about starting our own ventures, our own startups, our own firms?
Now, see, India is a developing country. That's all. What a developing country means is, so much is still undone. Many things to be done. In this country, nobody should be talking about unemployment, if you ask me, because there is so much to be done. Now the problem is, you want only that certain kind of job where you will get the maximum pay without doing the needed work. Yes, otherwise it's a developing country. There are million things yet to be done in this country. This is not a developed country, what shall I do, everything is done. No, there are too many things yet to be done. So, if you have a working brain and a seeing eye, if you look around, there are 1,000 things to be done right around you, isn't it? So, I don't think you should be looking in terms of campus placement. The word placement sounds like you're in a hospice. This should not be the attitude of the youth. What are you going to lose if you take a risk? I'm asking, what are you going to lose? Your friend may get into McKinsey, is that it? That's not the way to look at life. If you look at life like that, you will regret. I'm not making a comment about any particular company, I'm saying, because everybody… especially in Harvard Business School, if you talk to anybody, say, I'm looking for a placement in McKinsey. I said, what are you… how many of you will go to McKinsey? There is so much to be done in the world. If you have the brains and the guts to do something, there is so much to be done in this world, isn't it? Particularly in India. So, I would like to see from this institution that little more dare in you, nothing will happen. If I don't do this, I will fall on the street, I will become a beggar. No, that will not happen to you. Are you sure about that or no? That will not happen to you. But if you're enterprising, you think the world can stop you? No, the world will put obstacles in your way. Either you can see them as obstacles or you can see them as possibilities, always. Where there is a problem, there is a possibility, isn't it so? Hello? Wherever there is a problem, there is a possibility. That is, if you start looking, what's the solution for this problem? If you just see the problem and you don't think beyond that a problem is a great possibility because if you solve this, that's it. There are lots of problems in our… Please see how to solve it, that's what you should invest in. When you talk about Shiva, there is no parentage, there is no place of birth. It's very common to refer to Shiva as Yaksha Swarupa. Yakshas means always those kind of beings which are not human.
So all the enlightened people who've been,
How many did you meet?
like I've heard about many, like say Krishna or Muhammad or Ram or Christ, Buddha, all the enlightened people who've been on this planet, there is some sort of mention of their birth or death. But when it comes to Shiva, like you say, and I've read that he was self-created, and I often ask you this question, that did he disappear into thin air, and apparently something like that happened. He couldn't even have biological children with any of the women he was married to. Also, he
At least you can't blame him for the population.
Sadhguru, I'm coming to something very important. There is a theory.
I thought population was very important too.
There is a theory that Shiva is alien. My favorite director, Christopher Nolan, made this film, Interstellar, which is one of my favorite films, where they are constantly referring to certain beings as they. They are communicating, they are talking to us, they are doing this, but they never really clarified who they were. Like, were they aliens, were they gods, who they were? And Sadhguru, like this, I think I felt it in, like when any creative idea comes to me, it has absolutely no intellectual grounds where I can go back and track it down. It's literally like a mail dropped in my head. It seems like it's from an outside space.
This is not a confession.
I know it's a confession, but Sadhguru, is it that we are being operated by an external, sort of outside beings? Is it that?
Well, people who have no faith in human intelligence are looking up that intelligence will come from somewhere else. What we need to understand is, see, there are certain things which are very significant things in this country which unfortunately present generation has completely forgotten, or very few people are reminded, and the rest of the world, some places they recognize, rest of the places it's not there. What the thing is just this, here we consider things like this. For example, in yoga, we call your spine the center of the universe, we call it Merudanda. That means it's the axis of the universe. What is a universe? Please understand this. Today scientists are admitting it is an endless universe. Forever we've been saying it's an ever-expanding universe. So we said your spine is the axis of the universe. That sounds ridiculous. Even without putting any load, most people's backs are hurting badly. They can't even walk or run or do anything. If this becomes the axis of the universe, what will happen? Why we are saying this is, see, you know there is a universe or you think there is a universe only by your experience, isn't it so? If you did not experience, if you could not see this, if you could not see like this and feel like this, you wouldn't know there is a universe. Only because of your experience there is a universe. And the center where your experience is being transmitted is through your spine. If you cut a few wires in your spine, you will have no experience even of the body, forget about the universe. So because your ability to experience the universe is rooted and centered in your spine, we are calling your spine as the axis of the universe. Suppose this hall, see now we know the boundaries of this hall. Now we can debate whether this is the center of this hall or that is the center of this hall. Suppose there are no boundaries to this hall, how would you decide which is the center of this hall? Where you are is the center of the hall, isn't it? From this basis, we developed a whole possibility for a human being, how not just to believe these things, but to make it into your living experience. It is from this the word yoga came, that the inclusiveness happens not because I tell you, oh, I love you, you love me and all this stuff. Inclusiveness happens simply because you obliterate the boundaries of your individuality. Not because I love you, you love me, I hug you, you hug me, so because we are inclusive, no. All that will last for some time. Tomorrow if they do something that you don't like, it'll be finished. But you obliterate the boundaries of your individual nature, including your body, that you know how to sit here without being identified with the boundaries of who you are. Your physical structure, your mental structure, your emotional structure has a boundary. It may be large or small. No, I'm not talking about the body being large. It may be large or small, but it has a boundary. But there are dimensions which have no boundary. What doesn't have a boundary is non-physical in nature. So our focus has always been on that dimension, which is non-physical. That is why Shiva became the most important thing, because Shiva means that which is not, that which is non-physical. Now is he the yogi that we're talking about, is he a human being, did he come from somewhere else? See, there are things, as you said, there is no parentage. When you talk about Shiva, there is no parentage, there is no place of birth, nobody saw him as a young boy to grow up. All the time when we saw him, he was about the same age. And we don't know where he died, such a significant human being, even in those times, if he died somewhere, they should have built a temple, they should have built some kind of a monument for him. Nothing like that happened. So there is no birth, there is no death, there is no parentage, there is no siblings, there is no anything to prove that he was here. Does it mean to say we can assume he came from somewhere? Not necessarily. But in many of the… if you look at the lore, it's very common to refer to Shiva as Yaksha Swarupa. This means, Yakshas means always those kind of beings which are not human, but who supposed to have existed in the natural environment in this planet, in the forests and other things. Whatever we were referring to, some kind of beings or creatures or whatever you want to call them, who are not human in nature. So many times in the lore, you will see any number of songs and other things talking about Shiva as a Yaksha Swarupa. So there are many things which point, but there is no specific proof that he came from elsewhere.